Welcome everyone to week 5, our lunchbox cookie decorating kit. Ta-da! Don't forget to tag and share your guys' pictures and videos so we can put them on our Instagram and see all the beautiful works you guys are doing. Now let's jump into week 5. We're going to go through our week 5 cookie decorating kit. So each pack comes with 2 cookies, so you have 8 cookies in total. We have our chocolate chip cookie with a little bite taken out of it, our juicy Juicebox, a delicious apple, and our ham and cheese sandwich. We have some chocolate chips for our chocolate chip cookie. We have the cookie and bread buttercream, some cheese, a little bit of ham, some white for the straw and also for some accents. We have some green for our juice box, our lettuce, and our apple leaf. Red for our apple. Some black to make an outline for the juice box. And then brown for our apple stem. Let's get decorating. We're gonna start decorating with the chocolate chip cookie first. And each comes with 2 cookies, like I said before, because one's definitely gonna be our practice cookie and the other one's gonna be for real. So we're open up our cookies. I have a little tray that I'm gonna decorate on, that way I don't get the table all messy. Okay, grab my scissors. I'm gonna start with our cookie buttercream. I'm gonna do the medium-sized hole. Okay. All right. So if you did the week 1 number 2 pencil kit, it's going to be kind of the same way, but if not, it's okay. I'm going to teach you anyway. We're going to outline the cookie first. That way we have the shape of it and the definition nice and outlined. Okay. Then we're going to take our buttercream and we're just going to fill it in all even. A little even surface to flatten out. Okay. Take my butter knife and I'm just going to smooth out the top of the cookie. I like to move my cookie around different angles. It's just easier for me to flatten it. I'm going to wipe off my knife on my rag. Buttercream is the same and even. Oh, add a little bit more right here. There we go. All right, let's take it. We'll take our chocolate chips, and first I'm gonna add just a few. And then I'm going to kind of smush them into the buttercream so they look like they were already baked into it. I'm just going to get a little smushed. And then I'm just going to kind of put some buttercream on top of them. Like it's at that really baked cookie look. And then I'm just going to add some chips on top. I like my chocolate chip cookies really chocolatey because I'm a chocoholic. So this is going to be a super chocolate cookie. But be creative with it. If you don't want a lot of chocolate chips, don't put a lot of chocolate chips. And if you do, you can just shove them all on there. I mean, whatever you want to do. Alright, so that's going to be our first chocolate chip cookie. Before we start our second cookie, I'm just going to explain a little bit on how I'm holding my piping bag. So as you can see, I'm holding it from the very top. And the reason why I'm doing that is because most of the buttercream is underneath of my hand. So that way when I'm pushing, I have all this buttercream that I can push out with a nice even pressure. Versus when you're holding it towards the bottom, you don't have as much control. And you know, it could go all willy-nilly and crazy on you. And if you ever need more buttercream, you can always just push down from the top and some buttercream will come out. So we're gonna decorate our cookie. Just like the first one, we're gonna start with the outline. Just go around and outline the cookie. We have the shape first. And as you can see, I'm doing this all in one motion. So I'm just slightly squeezing the bag so it all comes out very evenly. And that's gonna give us for a nice even surface to flatten out our cookie with our knife. Take our knife and we're gonna start flattening out our buttercream. Remembering to always clean your knife off with your wet towel, that way you don't have any loose buttercream anywhere. There we go. I'm kind of holding the cookie with my left hand, that way it's not moving all the way around, because if I don't, you know, look at that, it's just going everywhere. It's gonna be really hard to smooth. So you're gonna take your, whether you're left-handed or right-handed, you're gonna take your other hands and just kind of hold the cookie in place while you flatten out the buttercream. All right. So for the first cookie, I made it really chocolatey. This one, I'm not gonna make it as chocolatey. Just gonna do a few, just a couple. All right, that's our chocolate chip cookie. Next, we're gonna do our juice box. Take our cookies out. Alrighty. All right, we're gonna start with the green buttercream first. And since we are gonna be using this later on, you do not wanna make a giant hole because we're gonna have to cut it again later. So we're just gonna make a little small hole. And we're only going to ice the square part. So like the cookie, we're going to outline the juice box first. And then fill it in. And when you're icing it, you want to make sure that you're giving it those little points that juice boxes have, because that's what's going to give it that real sharp square look to it. So make it look like a juice box. So I'm just going to fill it in. Okay. Take our knife, have our wet towel over there. Just going to gently even out the buttercream. So before, we're going to have our left or right hand on the cookie. That way we can control the movement of it, where it's going. It's not moving all about. The paper wants to be the cookie too. So we're just gonna straighten them out a little bit. And that's why we hold the cookie, folks, because it does that. Okay, there we go. Nice and even. It's a flat little juice box. Okay. Now we're gonna come in with our white for our straw. And just do a small hole. So we're gonna start at the top here first. Do the outline. And then we're gonna come into the juice box just a little bit because the straw is piercing the juice box. And then we're gonna fill over top the straw. Make sure your knife is clean. Clean. We're going to flatten our straw out just a little bit. we're gonna make the little bends that bendy straws have. So you're just gonna, it's gonna be kind of like a little teardrop shape. That's kind of what you're looking for. So you're gonna do a lot of buttercream and then just kind of drag it away on the cookie. So we're gonna do one in the middle, one on the side, and then another one. Okay, so a bendy straw. We have our black, and this is what is gonna give it the definition. So this is a small, very small bowl. You can see that. Okay, now I have to think of how the juice box looks. So we're gonna start with a line up here, and then we're gonna do a line there. Kind of like a T almost, but a little bit bent upwards. And then you're gonna go around the outside and outline the juice box. Looks nice and square. Fill that in a little bit. To the top of the juice box. Where the straw comes out. We're gonna outline our straw also. Outline our little bendy parts, and then it needs a little flap where the juice box folds. So next we're going to make a tiny little apple, because it's apple juice. How's anyone gonna know if there's not an apple on it? So for our apple, we're gonna kind of make like a heart shape. So kind of like what we did with the straws, you're gonna do a lot of buttercream and then you're gonna drag it down into kind of a heart shape. We're gonna do that on the front. So we're gonna do one, kind of drag it over, two, and we're just gonna kind of fill it in a little bit. Here's our little apple. Gotta give him a face. He's a cute apple. Ow! He's adorable. This is gonna be our brown for our tiny little apple stem. Just make a tiny little stem. We're gonna give him a little leaf. Okay, so you're going to take your buttercream and make like a tiny little half moon shape and then another one. And that's going to create a little leaf for our apple. There we go. And last but not least, we're going to write juice underneath of it. We're going to do it in all caps. J, so everyone knows it's apple juice. Okay, there's our first juice box. So I'm a firm believer in second chances, so this cookie is gonna look way better than the first one. We're gonna start with the straw first this time, because I thought the last one was a little too fat. So we're gonna make a skinnier straw. Like before, we're gonna start with the outline and then go and fill it in. Use use my knife, gently flatten out the straw. Right, now it needs its little bends because it's a bendy straw. I'm gonna do 3, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now we're gonna come in with the green, and we're gonna outline the juice box. So we're gonna pipe around the straw. Continue outlining the rest of the box. Alright, this time it already looks way better than the first one. So now we're just gonna fill in our juice box. Okay. Take our clean knife, and we're gonna start to spread our buttercream around. Just be careful with the green that you don't want it to go over the straw. You want it to be just next to it, like it's in the box. Turn this way. There we go. Alright. We're getting there. Fill in a couple little spaces. Alright. That corner just doesn't want to be full of buttercream. Alright, we're going to come in with our black again, and I'm actually going to outline the entire of the juice box first, so just the outside first. And then I'm going to go in and do the dimension marks afterwards. We're going to do our middle line. Then we're going to come and connect it with the left corner, and then we're going to connect that with the back corner. Okay. I'm going to make a little marking where the straw and the juice box meet. Then we're going to make our little flap. Okay. Oh, don't forget to outline your straw, guys. Outline the straw. Okay. We're going to make our little apple again. Remember our little heart shape that we did before? You just make that again. Kind of fill it in a little bit. I'm going to use my knife this time. I'm just going to kind of give it a little more of a apple body shape. There we go. Alright. I'm going to come in with our little stem. Give a little stem. And his little face. Because he's the happiest apple in all of Apple Land. And we're going to come in with our leaf again. Give him a nice leaf. And then I'm gonna give him a little white mark right here because he's a shiny apple. And last but not least, we're gonna write juice underneath of the apple. Very slight pressure that I'm putting on the buttercream right now. It's like I'm barely pushing any out. All right. This one definitely came out way better than the first one. They say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's a cookie, but it's still an apple shape. I think it counts. We're gonna open our cookies up. We're gonna start buttercreaming our apples. The first color we're gonna start with is the red. So we're gonna outline our apple. Oh, that's a little wiggly. Nice straight line. Try and keep it straight as possible. And then you come in and you're gonna fill in your apple. Oh, our buttercream pooped a little bit. That's all right. Okay. Take our knife and we're just gonna smooth out our buttercream just like we did in the previous two cookies. Slowly, gently moving it around, getting that nice apple shape. Cleaning off your knife if you need to. Okay. Next I'm going to go in with my brown. I'm actually going to cut a little bit bigger of a hole this time. This needs to be a little bigger. So this is about how big my hole is now. And I'm going to come in and put in my stem. And you want it to go a little bit over the apple because the stems come out of the apples on the top. I'm just gently going to flatten him out a little bit. And then I come back in with my red. I'm just going to make a little bit buttercream over top so that way it looks like it's actually in the top of the apple. It kind of gives it that little 3D effect to it. And we're just going to smooth that out a little bit. A little bit more. Want it to look nice and round, nice juicy apple. Okay, that looks amazing. Now we're gonna come in with our leaf. So we're gonna make this into a leaf tip now. We're gonna take our scissors and we're gonna form the buttercream bag into a V shape. So you're gonna cut half of it like that, and then you're gonna turn the bag around and cut the other V shape, just like that. So that's what you're gonna end up with, a little V shape. And that's gonna give us a cute little leaf tip. Actually, I cut this side a little bit more. Okay. Now we have our leaf tip, and you're just gonna gently put your leaf on your apple. Then we come in with our white, and we're gonna give it that nice little shine mark on it. And there's our first apple. We're gonna move on to our second apple. So we're gonna start again by outlining the outside. For the outline, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on the bag because you don't want a ton of buttercream to come out all at once. It's gonna look clunky. And then we're gonna start to fill it in. And when I'm filling in the cookies, that's when I'm putting a lot more pressure on the bag, so a lot more buttercream can come out. And then for this apple, I'm actually gonna put more buttercream towards the middle. And it's gonna give it that rounded apple effect, so it looks kind of three-dimensional. We're gonna take our knife. I'm gonna start to smooth out our apple. So you don't want to flatten out the middle all the way because you want it to keep that rounded look to it. So you just gotta be careful not to take off a whole bunch of buttercream from the middle when you're doing that. Alright. Come in, round out the shape. Right. See how it's kind of mounded? Looks pretty dimensional to me. Come again with our stem and just do it a little bit over the top edge of the apple. We're going to flatten him out a little bit, smooth out the icing. We're going to come back in with our red and just put it a little bit over top the stem so it looks like it's peeking out the top of the apple. Smooth that in. And then I'm going to give him 2 leaves this time. Because, you know, why not? Apple's going to have 2 leaves. And I'm also going to give him a face. Because I wanted to match my juice box. And, you know, apples are happy. So I'm going to give him 2 little eyes. Mouth. Oh, look at him, he's so happy. So cute. And we can't forget his little shiny spot. I'm going to put it on this side this time. And there we have it, our second apple. The best part of a meal is definitely the sandwich. It's going to be ham and cheese. I'm going to open up our cookies. We're going to have our 2 cookies. We're going to start with our bread first. So we're going to ice the bottom bun first. We're going to kind of layer this so it looks like it's a layered real sandwich. We're going to start with our bottom bun. Just going to do a small little, kind of like a boat. It kind of looks like a boat shape. Take my knife and I'm going to flatten out my bottom bun. There we go. Alright, I have 1 bun. Next we're going to use our lettuce. So this, I'm going to you're just going to make it really fluffy looking, like lettuce. There's like curly little lettuces coming out. And you're gonna want these to go over the bottom bun that we just iced. This looks like the lettuce is popping out of the sandwich. Alright. Now we're gonna take our cheese. We're gonna cut a small hole. It's like how big my hole is. Now I'm going to do 3 cheeses. So I'm going to start with the middle first. And this is going to go over top of the green. And I'm going to do one on the right. do one on the left. These are just gonna be little triangles because you only see the one side of the cheese. A little cheesy triangle. Okay. I'm gonna take our knife, and just like before, we're just gonna smooth out our cheese a little bit, as much as you can. Nice smooth cheese. Looks like cheddar cheese. I love cheddar cheese. I'm a big cheese head. I eat cheese all the time. I'm probably made of mostly water and cheese. That's my body structure. Well, and cake. Cake, water, and cheese. That's Shelby. Okay. Now that we have our little cheeses, take our ham. Another kind of small hole. Not that big. And we're gonna do 2 ham pieces. So they're gonna go in the middle of the cheese. So they're gonna be half moon shapes. We're gonna 1 and 2. Oh. We're just gonna fill that in. There we go. Okay. With our knife, we're gonna do like we doing before and just smoothing out our ham. Nice smooth ham. So if you notice, I'm not smoothing the cookie out that way. So I'm smoothing out towards the part that doesn't have any icing on it, and that's because I don't want to mess up what I just piped, because there's a lot more chance of an accident happening, or you could mess up your lettuce. You know, you don't mess up your lettuce. It's beautiful. So there we go. We have our 2 little hams. And we're gonna take our bun and we're gonna go right over top of the ham and outline the top and then fill it in. I'm gonna put a little bit more icing towards the middle so it kind of has like a 3D bun effect. And then we're going to smooth out our bun. There we go. Alright, so I'm just smoothing this out with one easy motion, one motion with the knife. So you're just gonna back and forth, one swoop. Alright, and he just needs some little marks on the top that looks like a bun, little bun marks. There's our first sandwich. On to our second sandwich. We're gonna start with the bottom bun again. Nice little boat shape down here. It's like a little canoe. I'm just gonna fill them in. Take my knife and smooth out the buttercream. Smooth. Okay. We come with our lettuce again. A nice curly lettuce. Just gonna go. Kind of move it around. You can get different shapes with your lettuce. Put a little bit more lettuce. There we go. Now, we have a little bit of red left over, so I'm going to put some tomatoes in my sandwich, because I love tomatoes. So I'm going to do some little half circles. I'm going to do 3 tomatoes. There we go. Alright, now we're going to flatten out my tomatoes a little bit. Make sure your knife is clean. Alright, here come with our cheese. I think I'm just gonna do 2 cheeses this time, right in the spots where the tomatoes don't meet. I'm gonna do little triangles again. Fill in my cheese. Alright, then we're going to smooth out our cheese with your knife. Smoothing it out. Smoothing out towards the part of the cookie that doesn't have any icing on it. That way we don't mess up our beautiful vegetables that we just made. Okay. Let's put some ham on here. I'm gonna do 3 hams because this is a nice full sandwich. It's full of all the goodies. Half moons again. Okay. I'm gonna flip them around. Smooth out the ham. Just like so. There we go. Okay. And last but not least, our top bun. So, like before, we're gonna go a little bit over ham. That way the top bun looks like it's holding all the ham and the cheese inside of it. And then we're gonna fill it in. And we're gonna do a lot more towards the middle, so it's rounded out. Just like a real bun. So this just gotta be a little bit careful not to mess up the cookie. Turn them around. There we go. Smooth out our bun. Nice and round. Okay. Almost done. Alrighty. Just needs the little bun marks on it. And there's our last cookie, guys. We just finished decorating our lunchbox cookie set, and I have them all laid out for you so you can see. These are my first cookies. They're alright, they're pretty cute. But then look at these second cookies. They're so much cleaner. This apple guy has a little personality. You know, just make them however you want. These are so much fun to make. I hope you guys enjoyed them. And now I get to eat one. I think I'm gonna go for the chocolate chip because I like chocolate chips a lot. It's delicious.